Good afternoon and welcome to Oriam in Edinburgh for the penultimate game of the 2016 Victory Shield on what is the final day of this year's tournament. First up, Northern Ireland against Wales, and later on an absolute cracker, Republic of Ireland against the host Scotland, so that we can find out who is going to win the 2016 Victory Shield. Contrasting fortunes for the teams so far. Northern Ireland without a win already, unfortunately. Scotland beat them on opening day and Republic of Ireland beat them again on Tuesday, so a chance for the Northern Irish to get something on the board against a Welsh side this afternoon that could still pip Scotland into second depending on what happens. Kenny Miller from the Scottish Sun is alongside me, Gordon Duncan, and Kenny, still plenty to play for.
Yeah, and I think we saw enough from both these nations in the last game to suggest that they do have more than they showed early on. I think Northern Ireland, I think we've talked about this at length already with them, there is plenty strength in defence, there is enough ingenuity in midfield, maybe just don't have enough in the final third. Wales looked a completely different team in the second half against Scotland, inspired in no small part by Michael Ellery, their centre back, who he's been made captain for today.
As you can see, the Oriam facility here on the outskirts of Edinburgh is the perfect place for these boys to showcase their talent. It's Scotland's brand new Sports Performance Centre. Kenny, we've just had the official opening around 30 minutes or so ago. Nicola Sturgeon here, the Scottish First Minister, of course, Stuart Regan, Chief Executive of the Scottish FA as well, so the facility is officially open and the chance for these guys to show what they can do in that fantastic surface out there.
And I think everyone's pleased with the final results. Stuart Regan, Chief Executive of the SFA, pointing out it cost a tenth of St George Park down in England. It's certainly not 1/10 of the facility. I did try and talk Nicola Sturgeon into joining us, but she's still to get back to us.
Yeah, you're stuck with us too, unfortunately, but remember, you can have your say on Twitter as well. Hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter if you want to let us know what you think of today's action. At Scottish FA on Twitter as well. We'll be broadcasting all the games live and for catch up, youtube.com/Scotland national team. So plenty of action to get your teeth into, and you'll see all the post-match interviews as well on the Scotland national team Facebook page. Here comes the teams then. You can see Northern Ireland led out by captain Jordan McAniff, and the Wales captain today has been handed to Michael Ellery, the number 5. Let's quickly look through the teams then. Northern Ireland go with Tiernan Parker in goal. They've got Barney McKeown, Jack Conlon, Sam McClelland, Ethan Galbraith, Jordan McAniff, Lee O'Brien, George Curran, Caelan McLaughlin, Christopher Conn and Daniel Finlayson. As for the Welsh, well, Dan Barden is the man in goal. Outfield, Morgan Boyce, Keenan Patton, Michael Ellery the captain, Cameron Evans, Daniel Griffiths, Nico Williams, Jack Vale, Ryan Astley, Josh Hosey and Bradley Gibbings. So Kenny, a number of changes for both sides, and we've seen across the tournament that all the teams are trying to rotate the squad a little bit and maintain a winning formula, but also try and give boys a chance and see how they can perform.
I think a few of the bigger hitters are back in today. It's almost as if the two teams have gone for their strongest lineups.
And we will just pause briefly for the national anthems and then we'll get right into the action.
Both countries. First of all, the national anthem of Wales.
That concludes the national anthems, meaning kick-off is just minutes away here at Oriam between Northern Ireland and Wales. Kenny Miller of the Scottish Sun is alongside me, Gordon Duncan. And Kenny, whilst neither of these sides are in with a chance of winning this competition, there's still been a number of players out there who've certainly been catching the eye over the last few days. I'm thinking perhaps Northern Ireland captain Jordan McAnuff. Certainly been impressive. He's back out there today. We know that he's been catching the eye of Arsenal amongst some of the big clubs down south, and in the Welsh side as well, the likes of Daniel Griffiths, Nico Williams, Jack Vale, three guys who all came on and really changed the game in Wales' favour and allowed them to get that 2-2 draw against Scotland from being 2-0 down.
Yeah, I think in the second game the teams maybe mixed it up a bit more, but most of the big hitters, as we said before, the anthems are playing today. You're right to point out Jordan McAnuff. I think Ethan Galbraith, a driving force in the midfield as well for Northern Ireland. And as you point out, Jack Vale very much the main man for Wales, and I think we talked about him a lot in the first two games. Daniel Griffiths, maybe unfortunate to be left out in the second game, certainly puts in a shift up front for them. Looking forward to seeing him again. The
Welsh captain's armband today, Kenny, been handed to Michael Ellery, who plays at the back. Of course, Terry Taylor, the man who has had the captaincy so far, the Scotsman, of course, playing for Wales, he's dropped onto the bench, and Ellery's been another player that you've been impressed with and perhaps justified then that he's been handed the armband this afternoon.
I think aside from a torrid opening 10 minutes against the Republic of Ireland and Adam Ida in particular, I think Ellery has really stood tall at the back for Wales. He's been a calming influence, he's been an inspirational influence, good strength to him, good with the ball at his feet. No, he's been one of the standouts for them.
You can see Ellery there along with Northern Ireland captain Jordan McAnuff just going through the pre-match ritual, exchanging pleasantries under the watchful eye of referee who is Lloyd Wilson this afternoon. And Kenny, both sides just clearly eager to finish the tournament on a high. We know that neither of them can win it. I suppose at this level the meaning of this competition is twofold. First of all, you want to win it, but second of all, it's about building for the future, giving these guys a taste of international football and seeing what they can do for the remainder of their careers.
You're right. I think the kids themselves and to the extent the families, they want to win, because that's why ultimately you're in the sport. But I think the bigger picture is that it is all about development. Certainly Wales come in with greater expectations, having won the last two tournaments back to back. Northern Ireland, I think, as we've said a few times, been just frustrated within themselves. They haven't achieved more. Plenty of hustle, plenty of bustle, really just not enough craft in the final third.
And I'm sure Scotland and Republic of Ireland eagerly watching on as well to see how this one goes. We are about to get underway. Blow of the whistle from the referee, and the ball gets played straight away back to McAnuff, looking to make inroads already, dancing into the opposition half. Plays it out to his left back, just going to go long, try and find the striker Caolan McLaughlin. Jack Conlon, another man who's been a fairly steady performer for Northern Ireland over there with the throw-in, gets it straight back, tries to go down the line, but in the end just perhaps a nervous touch this early on in the game.
I expect this game to be slightly more industrial than maybe some of the other ones we've seen. Maybe slightly more football in the Scotland and Republic of Ireland teams.
Well, of course Scotland will be watching on with interest, Kenny, because if Wales win and Scotland don't, then Scotland could well be pipped into second by the Welsh.
Yeah, I think at 2-0 up at half time, I think Scotland thought they could cruise it against Wales. We asked the question at that point, did Wales have the character after a difficult opening game to bounce back, and they certainly did.
And does that change the feeling going into this one, because all of a sudden their tails will be really up? They finished that game confident and they'll be looking to pick up where they left off.
It definitely gives them something to cling on to, and maybe fuels that self-belief again, because there's no doubt a few heads dropped.
There goes Vale, just trying to touch it out to the left back, doesn't quite get there though. Well cut out in the end by George Curran. Played out to Conlon on that left side. Comes back into the big centre back who's Sam McClelland, always a confident player on the ball, as he dinks that one out to the near side to Daniel Finlayson. And it goes again to O'Brien. It's nice football from Northern Ireland in these early stages. A crunching tackle, though, it must be said, from Morgan Boys. Heard that one up here in the commentary position certainly, and he's won his team a throw in as well.
George Curran's sent spinning from that one.
Finlayson's header is going to be picked up though by Williams. McAnuff's in, dispossessed him well, no chance for Northern Ireland to break here. McAnuff driving forward, plays it out to the left hand side. There's the overlap on from Conlon if he wants it, chooses to come back in. Nice footwork again from McAnuff, just slips it in. Good recovering tackle in the end though, but already you can see Northern Ireland just trying to press forward when they get the chance. There's Williams to Vale. Vale full of running, but no opportunity that time for him to work his way into space. Just happy to keep possession at the moment. Ryan Astley goes back to the goalkeeper Dan Barden. There is the skipper Ellery, plays it left footed out to Boys on this near side. You can see the water flying up from this freshly watered surface, Kenny. It clearly is very slick. It's a fast pitch when the sprinkler system's been on. It's a state-of-the-art watering system they've got here, but it certainly means that the players have to be careful with the weight of pass out there.
It has its pros and it has its cons. I think if I was a goalkeeper I'd be slightly nervous with any back pass in their general area.
And here goes Vale then, a bit of space to run into. Decides to check back though. Then he goes to Hosey. Hosey all the way back to Patton. Must be said, Keenan Patton, if you haven't seen the stunning equaliser he scored against Scotland on Tuesday, then check it out. What a hit that was. And Kenny, I certainly think that's been goal of the tournament so far, although plenty of time for someone else to take that accolade this afternoon.
Yep, no arguments here. And in terms of it was important, in terms of the game and the final result, but certainly a moment for him to savour. The Welsh deserved it for the way they fought back in that game.
You've got to feel sorry for Scotland's Jamie Semple, because he had already scored a fine strike in that game and then was outdone a bit later on. And
he saw a header crash back off the bar for his hat-trick. Ultimately left disappointed.
So just 3.5 minutes on the clock here at Oriam on the outskirts of Edinburgh. It is still goalless between Northern Ireland and Wales. Let us know what you think though of the talent on show. Use the hashtag #VictoryShield on Twitter. You can get in touch if you want to give us your messages. Perhaps there's a player out there who's caught your eye. Let us know what you think, and we will try our best to read some of those messages out. Another nice 50-50 down on the near side. Jack Vale colliding with Daniel Finlayson. The throw-in does go the way of the Welsh. There's Boyce again, just going to play it down the line. Flicked on by Griffiths. Always such a willing worker is Dan Griffiths. Vale has it in the corner, comes back onto the right boot, tries to deliver first time. McClelland ends up putting the ball into his own net. Really unfortunate circumstances for the Northern Ireland defender. Vale it was with the cross. McClelland stuck out a leg and in the end deflected the ball past Tiernan Parker and into the back of the net to give the Welsh a lead after 4.5 minutes. And Kenny, disastrous start for Northern Ireland.
It is, and they are unlucky to an extent, but we did highlight Jack Vale a few times as one of the players that just makes things happen, and he put the ball into a difficult area and he's got his reward. Sympathies
with Sam McClelland. He clearly feels he has to stick out a leg to prevent anyone getting in behind him, but in the end he just simply doesn't get enough on it and he catches his goalkeeper out at the near post.
He'll beat himself up, but I think he was one of their standout players in the first two games, but certainly a sore one for him there.
Well, already you can see the confidence surging through this Welsh team. They've got their noses in front in perhaps fairly fortunate circumstances, and they're just happy to pop the ball around and try and build on that lead. How important is it, Kenny, for guys like Sam McClelland, who has been a good performer, he doesn't let an incident like that get him down?
He's come across as quite a strong character. Certainly they've had a torrid time in spells in the first two games, and he does seem able to shake it off. And at least in his defence, you could say he was proactive. He tried to make something happen instead of delaying. Maybe clutching at straws a bit, trying to defend them, but so unfortunate. But good for Wales. We didn't really see them getting into the final third like that against the Republic of Ireland, forcing mistakes.
So already then in the early stages of this penultimate game of the 2016 Victory Shield, there is Wales who have the advantage. And let's see what type of response Northern Ireland can muster. It's out there with Conlon on the left side. Conlon happy just to hold off the challenge and come forward. He's beaten though by Williams unfairly, says the referee. Just a slight nudge in the back that time.
Set it up. Daniel, get the ball.
Ethan Galbraith, always such a confident performer, does most of his good work inside that centre circle.
His balance is so good as well.
Very happy to take the ball into feet and make something happen. No foul, says the referee, just on the edge of the 18-yard box.
I think we've seen some, I think we've talked about this, we've seen some standout fullbacks in this competition, but in terms of central midfield partnerships, obviously the Republic of Ireland are strong, but in terms of McInnes and Galbraith, Northern Ireland definitely have a couple of talents.
We've seen a slightly different approach from Wales in this game, Kenny, because already trying to build from the back, when against Scotland they were happy to go direct a bit more often. Perhaps that's a tactical thing that the management have seen depending on who the opposition is.
Yep, they maybe see a slightly more physical team in Northern Ireland, so they've tailored their tactics. It's good to see they've got that side to their game.
Barney McKeown, the man coming across to sweep up the danger. Boyce has certainly had his fair share of throw-in duties already this afternoon. Claims for another one, doesn't get it though. There's Williams, miscontrols it, picks it up ever so well in the end. Lovely spin, keeps it alive. Free kick, says the referee. McEwen clattering into the back of Griffiths, and we're going to see plenty of that from Griffiths this afternoon. Kenny always puts his body on the line. Yeah,
he's an unselfish player. Said in the first game he didn't really get much reward for all his selfless effort, honest toil. Certainly used his body well there, anticipated the foul. He's won them a free kick in a dangerous area.
Limps off towards the edge of the box, does the Wales number 9. Leaves Nico Williams, the number 10, to stand over the ball. And we've spoken about how quick this pitch is, Kenny. I wonder if he's just going to put it into an area and give the goalkeeper something to think about. Certainly wouldn't like to be in Tiernan Parker's shoes as this one comes in. Here comes Williams, and indeed he does. It's low. Well cut out in the end though by Finlayson. McAniff doesn't get a lot on it, falls back to Williams. Vale's there as well, trying to work the shooting opportunity. Indeed he does. Not a bad effort at all. And the referee says it took a neck out for a corner. I must say, Kenny, from our view, not entirely sure where the deflection come from. We'll have another look at it. You can see Vale. It certainly wasn't a deflection as far as I'm concerned, but the referee clearly feels he saw something.
No, you can see most of the players running back to the centre of the pitch as well.
Nope, Jack Vale won't be too concerned. Just positioning himself in the edge of the box, hoping for another crack at goal. There is that man Williams on set piece duty for Wales. Then up goes the left hand, in it comes right footed. It's a wonderful ball. Parker's underneath it. Referee says it's a free kick to Northern Ireland.
Didn't appear to be too much in that either, so maybe a case of evening up a disputable call.
You're an
diplomatic way of putting it.
You're an old cynic. It's your birthday today, you're another year older and already more cynical. I can't believe it.
Thanks, Scott.
But happy birthday nevertheless.
Still look good for 25.
If you could just leave the jokes to me as well, that would be fine. Throw into Wales on the far side. Cameron Evans, the man with it. Up the line it goes already. Fairly scrappy when it goes down either side. Both teams happy to go along with the throw-ins. Pick up the pieces. There is the man McClellan to put into his own net a few moments ago. Just a real scrappy period of play. Remember, you can get in touch with us, #VictoryShield. Let us know what you think if you want to have your say on today's game. I'm sure many of you will be watching us online, perhaps while you're supposed to be working, so just don't let the boss catch you. Gavin Pritchard's happy with what he's seen already online. #VictoryShield. Get in Wales 1-0. Indeed it is, thanks to that own goal from Sam McClelland after only 4 minutes. Jamie Edwards isn't happy with the Wales starting 11. He says, why isn't Cavan Williams starting? Good question. Certainly was a impressive performer against Scotland on Tuesday, but we will have to look to the bench if we're going to see any action from Cavan Williams this afternoon. There goes Ellery, happy just to play it left-footed high. I was going to say into the sky, but it doesn't quite have the same impact when we're indoors, Kenny.
We've not seen the ball crash off the roof yet. It's one test, Oriam still to pass.
Absolutely, there's a first for everything. But it certainly is quite an impressive structure, so I don't think the ball will trouble the roof too often. Wales again trying to build from the back. You can see Keenan Patton just dropping deep there looking for it, but closed down well by Galbraith, forced Wales to go all the way back to Barden in goal. Barden finds Ellery in the left centre back position. Galbraith again trying to close him down. Picked up in the end. That's a loose clearance, and in the end Patton gets away with that one. That was the right foot which caused a wonder goal on Tuesday, but he was fortunate with the ropey clearance that time.
That goal's been doing the rounds on Twitter. It does show you the exposure that this tournament can give you.
Yeah, I'll bet it has. If you haven't seen it, like I say, please do check it out. The ball flicked on from a corner on the turn, he catches it on the volley, rifles it into the bottom corner. It really was a fantastic goal from Keenan Patton. Perhaps looking to build on that today. Here's Vale, operating slightly more centrally than we're used to seeing him, Kenny. We're used to seeing him flying down the line, but happy to come inside and pick up more of the ball in these early exchanges.
I think he's been the most influential player in the park so far.
Finlayson goes long. Boyce does well and stands the ball up. Vale just trying to work a bit of space. He's well closed down in the end though. Williams turns. Perhaps just overdoing it. McAniff robs him. McAniff has it back. Out to Conlon on the left hand side. His pass is a good one. Finds a teammate. Happy just to hold it up and go all the way back to his left back. Galbraith wants it. Going to be dinked down the line instead. Not the best pass you'll see. And ends up missing out again. Williams got a chance to try and run down the line. Wins himself a throw in. Referee telling the Welsh defender just to get a move on. As the throw in once again goes down the line. Griffiths can't keep it in though. There's going to be another throw into Wales. Northern Ireland certainly felt that one went their way, but going to be back with it. Not the fastest start to a game we've seen, Kenny. Clearly both sides happy just to try and feel their way into it. It's Wales who've got the break so far with that own goal, and neither side really trying to press with too much intensity at this stage.
I think Northern Ireland has just lost a little bit of ground in the midfield after we gave them the big rave review. Vale's become more influential. Galbraith's been a bit quieter. Time to re-establish themselves in there.
Griffiths gets it back. Good play from him, just trying to work his way across the field. Tries the Zidane turn, plays it into the feet of Vale. Vale has it. Back to Griffiths. Again trying to put his body on the line. Goes down again and wins a free kick again.
I think he was fortunate there, Griffiths. He tried the second Zidane turn in quick succession. We can just see it back now.
I'm not sure this was a pass, but in the end, let's get it to Vale, and we've got another free kick in what is a real dangerous area. This
lovely bit of skill.
You can see Tiernan Parker just trying to organise the wall, trying to edge over a little bit, but I think there's only one thing on Nico Williams' mind here, Kenny. It certainly is within shooting range.
Certainly great opportunity for him, reasonably central.
Four-man wall then, and indeed he does go for goal. It's far too high though. That one's not going to trouble Tiernan Parker at all, but I don't think too many people will blame him for having a crack from there.
No, and he looks frustrated with himself. Still trying to get his range. It's more like it from Galbraith.
McAniff just taking a bit of a chance there, and he's been caught out, and in the end,
crazy.
Disastrous defending from Northern Ireland. Nico Williams is the man who capitalises, prods the ball into the back of the net, and after 14 minutes it is Northern Ireland 0, Wales 2, and yet again Northern Ireland, Kenny, architects of their own downfall. We've praised the captain, but as you can see here, really slack stuff.
He's had such a good tournament, and maybe this is the kind of moment that highlights again these are 15-year-old boys who are going to make basic mistakes. That's how they'll learn.
You can see he's gutted, Kenny. Jordan McAniff, head in his hands.
He was so casual.
He won't want to see that back. What do you think? We can't really hear the communication. Was it a case of him hoping the goalkeeper was going to come, not being on the same wavelength, and in the end have been caught out?
You'd expect the goalkeeper, Tiernan Parker, in that position to be screaming at his captain. It was just casual beyond belief.
So already then Wales making inroads into this game, but Northern Ireland really the ones making life difficult for themselves. They put into their own net after 4 minutes, and some disastrous defending leading to the easiest goal Nico Williams will score all week. And after 15 minutes, Northern Ireland find themselves 2 goals down, and after being on the receiving end of a bit of a hiding on the opening day, Kenny, 4-0 they lost out to the Republic of Ireland. No, that was Wales, forgive me, but too many scorelines to keep up with over the course of the week.
That is the flip side. For all it was a defensive mistake, Nico Williams deserves credit for his pressing. It would be easy just to give up on that one, save the legs for the next time, but he got his reward.
It was just after us commenting on how the teams hadn't really been pressing too high in the early stages, but I suppose they're showing why we're up here and they're down there, because it's all about picking the right moment to try and put the pressure on.
Or someone down there in the dugout's got an earpiece in and is listening to our words of wisdom.
Yeah, I think that's more like it. You're right. You're absolutely right.
We called it.
So, Wales clearly in confident mood now then. Having said that, Wales themselves come back from 2 goals down against Scotland on Tuesday, so they won't be too complacent. They know exactly what can happen. Cameron Evans, the man running it out on the far side.
It's been the word of the tournament for Northern Ireland, but they must be so frustrated because given Wales this advantage, it's not really been earned as much as we talked about Nico's pressing. Handed it to them on a plate, and again they've not really looked like scoring.
And Kenny, I think we're probably seeing something that's very relevant in terms of youth football is about trying to get a level of consistency from these guys, because Sam McClellan's been a standout at the back for Northern Ireland. He's unlucky, he puts the ball in his own net, and we've spent the whole week talking about how impressive the captain Jordan McAneff is as a midfield player, and he shoots himself in the foot as well. So here comes Williams again, trying to make things worse for Northern Ireland. Ball just breaks back to him, looking to double his tally. Lovely pass down the line, going to be trying flashed across, cut out in the end. Going to be a corner, but yeah, Kenny, again, like I was saying there, these guys clearly impressive performance on their day, but the next stage perhaps is just to try and find that level of consistency.
Yeah, good for McClellan there to bounce back with the important block, but I think that is the point. They are 15-year-old boys in the main, so this is a good environment to make their mistakes in, when the stakes are quite high relatively for them.
So Nico Williams, the goal scorer, trying to become the creator. It's another wonder ball right into the danger area. Northern Ireland managed to hack it clear in the end. It gives George Curran something to chase, but fair play to Dan Barden, he was quickest off his line. Offside flag is up against Williams.
Always looks very assured, Barden. Nothing's ever done in a rush.
He certainly has the stature of a up-and-coming goalkeeper as well. We know at this age some of the boys grow at different rates, but Barden already an imposing figure there in the Wales goal. Here is McAneff then, the captain, looking to bounce back from that error. Finds Gilbraith. Always immaculate on the ball as Gilbraith just slightly overruns it that time. Headed clear in the end. Wales not fully clearing their lines though. Northern Ireland with a half chance to get in here. Well picked up though. Back to Barden. You can see the centre backs splitting early, pushing the full backs up, looking to build from the back. Ellery up to Boyce. A real feature of the Welsh play so far has been that partnership between left back and left centre back. Griffiths can't get an end of that one though. In it goes. No foul, says the referee. Allows Vale to pick it up. Lee O'Brien wasn't happy with that decision, but he does pick himself up. Here go Wales down the right hand side. Bradley Gibbings, we've not seen a great deal of him so far, but that's nice footwork, just keeping possession of the ball. Back it goes to Patton. Patton fouled in the end by Galbraith, says the referee.
I think that's one of the things that's impressed me, is the decision making from the boys in the main in the tournament. There hasn't been that many rash decisions made. There's not been many players playing for themselves. They all look well schooled in the game, and that's to the credit of the clubs.
Barden under another bit of pressure here, but as always looks comfortable coming out. Just takes a touch before playing it long out towards the right hand side. Galbraith picks it up. He's always got his head up looking for the pass. Manages to find Finlayson, but the ball's going to break down. Crunching tackle from Ellery. It gives Griffiths something to chase, so it's going to be picked up though.
Ellery didn't even flinch in that tackle. Another example of his power.
Josh Hosey plays it across to Patton. Just lets it roll across his body. Bit of a loose pass though, but Astley is going to get there. More than happy as always to go back to his goalkeeper. Ellery just dinks it back out to the far side. Astley's there once more. And I just wonder, Kenny, if we're going to get to a stage in the game where Northern Ireland are going to have to try and press a bit harder because they're 2 goals down. We're only midway through the first half, and really Wales plenty of space to try and knock it about at the back, but they might be made to pay here. Good recovery in the end from Ellery.
Yeah, you're right, that's the first real occasion when Ellery and the other centre backs have been pressed.
Powerful running from Vale as always, slips it into Griffiths. Good recovering tackle though, it must be said. Daniel Finlayson read it well, powered his way across and pokes the ball away for a corner kick.
Such a nuisance though, Griffiths. You can see he drags the defence all over the place. Still to see much of him in front of goal. He's not exactly had the ammunition, but
credit to the defender on that occasion. And yet again, just 21 minutes in, Nico Williams has had plenty of corner kick practice so far. In comes another one, and it must be said most of them have been right on the money. Ellery just misses out on that one though. Vale goes across the chase, but Finlayson's going to try and keep possession of the ball. Doesn't want to just clear first time, does ever so well. And the Welsh back line taking a bit of a chance, but George Curran couldn't quite get there. Out it comes once more to Ellery. Boyce has it. Infield it goes to Williams. Plays a nice ball, tries to find Gibbings over there on the right hand side, but Galbraith's going to pick that up in the chest. Vale closing him down, but you can see Galbraith always happy to just try and find the space, move away from any tackles coming his way.
It's a good little personal battle between Vale and Galbraith. Another example there of just how composed Barden is in the ball, for better or worse.
And you can see Wales really are being allowed to pass the ball out from the back quite easily. Vale has it, finds Williams on this left side. A feature of his play coming back onto that right boot. It's a nice delivery again. Cleared. Patton trying to close down Galbraith.
Wasn't a very subtle push there from Patton and Galbraith.
Referee lets it go. Boyce all the way back to the goalkeeper. And you can see there the Northern Ireland management, Darren Murphy, the head coach, Kenny's out there and he's making the point that we're making. There's far too big a gap between the defence and the midfield, and then the attackers, they really are quite isolated, quite stretched, and that's what's allowing Wales just to take the ball at the back, be comfortable with it and play the ball into midfield and then launch an attack.
I'm not sure Christopher Collins even had a mention up front for Northern Ireland. All he's doing is shuttle runs between two centre backs.
Oh, and there we are, almost caught out on that occasion, Wales. I must say, I think it was a fairly generous decision from the referee. But better pressing certainly from Northern Ireland, because if the referee hadn't deemed that to be a foul, they were in.
Yeah, Wales maybe getting too casual at the back for all we talked about their composure. There is a fine line.
Here's another man who has certainly got a bit of composure. Galbraith plays it infield, goes for the through ball. Out it comes to Finlayson once more.
That's more like it from Northern Ireland, but again you see they have to go back the way.
They had managed to work themselves into a good bit of space there, and in the end all the momentum really does come out of the attack. McClellan still has it though and finds Conlon on the left. Conlon tries to play it in first time. Gibbings does well to get the block in. And we can see, Kenny, is that a confidence thing, Northern Ireland, because they got themselves into a good position there but ended up taking the safe option, turning out, going all the way back, and it really just allows Wales to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Con's not had too many touches of the ball, maybe just wants to get an early touch of it, play it safe, and trying to spin away and do something himself.
There's Williams again, showing good footwork, just stands the cross up, no takers though. He's going to come all the way across. Caleb McLaughlin, another man who's not seen a great deal of the ball so far, plays it long though, it's a decent ball as well. But yet again, Dan Barden in the Wales goal, always alert, always just on the edge of his box, happy to come and pick up any balls that are played all the way through.
It was George Curran's turn to do those selfless runs.
Galbraith trying to close down as well. Curran's coming over, but Ellery's still got quite a lot of space to try and build from the back. Good tackle though, much more like it from Northern Ireland. And a crunching one again from Patton. Griffiths finds Vale.
Great turn of pace.
Really comfortable running with the ball as Jack Vale just tried to thread the slide rule pass through to Williams.
McClellan did well there to cut it out, not for the first time.
Galbraith goes long. Ellery's underneath it. You can see the Wales captain, he's just so strong. The Northern Ireland management felt that was a foul, but going to be a corner kick to Northern Ireland in the end.
Any chance? Seriously? I know we're bad, but he's nearly as bad as us.
Northern Ireland coach Darren Murphy there making the point that his side are performing poorly, but so is the referee. I'm sure that one was picked up, as long as he keeps it clean.
Maybe we should get him up here.
So rare corner then for Northern Ireland, got to make this count. Indeed, it's a good ball. Gibbings has it though. More like it from Northern Ireland, just trying to make their presence known in this game, because they've not had a great deal to shout about so far. Gibbings has got the space to run into, and he's going to pick up the second ball as well. Rides the challenge.
Griffiths
this is
begging for it.
A great run from Gibbings, but look at that sliding challenge all the way back. Ethan Galbraith, terrific covering from him. Referee just making the point that he had let play go on there.
Galbraith seems to have endless energy. He's all over the pitch. He's the one midfielder breaking the lines and looking to press the Welsh defence, and then you see him at left back breaking up play.
So another chance for Tiernan Parker in the Northern Ireland goal to organise. Certainly won't want to concede a third goal so early on. Northern Ireland, to their credit, still leaving two men up the field though, trying to give Wales something to think about. Here comes Williams with the corner. not too far away in the end. It was Cameron Evans who got his head to the ball. No real danger for the goalkeeper, but Northern Ireland will be hoping Kenny to do a better job of picking up those first balls.
It was a real chance for Evans. I think Griffiths maybe just got in his own way. But yep, slack from Northern Ireland.
Here's that man McClelland, scored the own goal early on in this one.
I think in fairness to him, he has recovered really well. He's had a couple of big blocks. Has looked to break forward with the ball at his feet from centre back. That's all you can ask, is that he shrugs off the mistake.
I think again, Kenny, we're going to finish ultimately with a first place, second, third and fourth in this tournament, but I think all the teams have had quite a lot to be positive about. All the defenders seem relatively comfortable on the ball, all happy to come forward and play those passes that you were just talking about.
Obviously at this age anything can happen, and there's a lot can go right and there's a lot can go wrong in young careers, but I do think that all four teams have a clutch of players you can look at and say you would fully expect them to break through, at least to some level.
McClelland out to Conlon on this near side then. Boyce heads it up in the air, Vale knocks it on. Well picked up McEwen, but it breaks to Boyce. McIneff's in there, sliding tackle into the feet of Nico Williams. Dan Griffiths has it, just controls it with the studs and finds space to drive into. Finlayson's got a job on to keep up with him. Griffiths goes all the way back. Out it comes to this left side to Vale. Tries to play it over the top, just a bit too much on it, cut out by McClelland. There's Patton trying to make things happen, but in the end just forces the pass, overhits it. No real chance for Dan Griffiths to get in the end of that one.
Just not quite in the same wavelength there. He checked the run.
Conlon trying to go long, trying to turn that Wales back line, because in truth they've had it all too easy in these opening 29 minutes. Ryan Astley does well, doesn't panic, puts the ball out for a throw-in in the end. Here's McInneff then, Northern Ireland captain. McClelland trying to play it into feet, does so. Out it comes to Finlayson, always happy to join in the attacks as well. He's just going to try and stand it up at the back post, but in the end far too easy for Dan Barden. He saw it all the way, kept his eye on it, and in the end very happy to see it land in his gloves.
That's what we've been saying the whole tournament, minimum fuss from Barden at all times. Sure, there must be occasions when he's caught out and he looks a bit silly, but in the main it's calmness personified.
Skipper Ellery has seen a whole lot of the ball so far. Barden and Ellery, the goalkeeper and captain, happy just to knock the ball back and forward, just waiting for the right run. And this time it's from Boyce.
And they've picked the right pass.
Slips it in. Saving tackle from McEwen, because when Vale gets on it he's a powerful runner, and that's nice footwork from Williams. He's got Vale inside, keeps the run going though, lays it off to Griffiths on the right foot. Blocked in the end by McEwen. And Griffiths is going to be penalised, I think. Just a bit too robust in his efforts to get the ball back.
And that's all started because the Welsh defence were happy to pass it amongst themselves, play out from the back, bide their time and wait for the right pass.
You can see what he's doing, he's just trying to bend it into that far corner. Well blocked though by McEwen. Galbraith goes long, header back in by Boyce. And already Wales enjoying a nice bit of space in that midfield, but sometimes the final pass just breaking down. Good turn from Galbraith, down he goes. Going to be a free kick against Keenan Patton in the Welsh midfield. You can see no real doubt about that, not a great deal of contact, but a foul nevertheless. Conlon just trying to run his way down the line. I think it might be a bit too ambitious. He did get another touch on it, but only confirms the fact that it's a goal kick.
At least he's trying to be positive and make something happen, even though the touch was a bit heavy.
You see the size of this pitch as well, Kenny. I know these boys are used to playing on full-size pitches. This is particularly big though, and if you're going on one of those rampaging runs, it really can be difficult to get the legs going to an extent where you can keep it in.
Yeah, it's a bit unforgiving. Full-backs certainly have a lot asked of them.
So 32 minutes on the clock, just 8 minutes to go until the break, remember. 40-minute halves here in the Victory Shield. And no doubt about it, which side is the one in command? The Welsh, 2 goals to the good. and they'll certainly be looking to take that lead, or even a bigger lead, into the break if they can.
Yeah, the game's hit a bit of a lull. Not seen too much in the way of goalmouth action. It's a difficult one for Northern Ireland. Do they attack recklessly, looking to try and get a lifeline back in the game? Do they trust themselves just to keep it tight until half time and reassess then?
Boyce finds Vale and gets it straight back, and it goes to Patton. Works it across to Jose. Welsh midfield yet again keeping possession well initially, but then just trying to force the ball over the top.
No way, Jose, for that one.
What have I told you about cracking the jokes? Spare us all, if you don't mind. Vale again. You can see not only is he comfortable with the ball at his feet, but he's a big boy as well.
I think he was undone by the sprinkler system there. Just lost his foot.
Galbraith just trying to shape it out to the left-hand side, but he doesn't get enough on it. Gibbings loses out as well to Conlon, into McAneff. McAneff just trying to float it down, and he certainly does find a Northern Ireland teammate this time. This is a good attack from Northern Ireland, but again it's just the final ball. Crossing the end from Christopher Conn straight into Barden's arms, but certainly signs for optimism, Kenny, that Northern Ireland's still trying to get forward and at least make something happen.
It's one of the few times they've been able to make the ball stick in the attacking third to allow the midfielders and the fullbacks to press on and support. But again, the final balls just let them down.
Finlayson has it again as Northern Ireland look to get back into this game. Not a bad cross. Ellery gets it away at the second time of asking. Good footwork, going to try and shoot from range. And in the end, that is, to be polite, nowhere near the goal from Lee O'Brien.
I think he just lost his footing there, O'Brien, just at the wrong moment. You can see here.
You can see what he's trying to do, just trying to work the ball onto the left foot. He does so, and yeah, the standing foot just goes away from him. And the ball ends up well wide of the goal. Barden going to go long this time though. Have passed the ball out from the back for the best part of the afternoon, but they do go long when the time's right. Galbraith goes down, no foul says the referee. Williams tries to play it out left-footed to Vale. He's not going to get there though. Nice touch back into McAneff. Galbraith somehow still has it. Just one of these players who has a certain knack of coming away with the ball still at his feet. The pass isn't great though. Ellery on the slide manages to cut it out. Patton picks up the pieces, goes back to Boyce. Kenny, it's a real shift for those Northern Ireland attackers because they're not getting the reinforcements from midfield, and when Wales go back to the goalkeeper very often, he's got the good sense to go out the other side and really stretch the play and make use of the size of this surface.
No, you're right, there is a big gap developing because, as we've said, it's admirable Galbraith and the rest of that midfield work hard and they work deep to win the ball back, but it does leave that bigger space.
And Vale could be in here, we know he's quick. Finlayson's wrestling with him. Vale goes down, and in the end the referee says it's a foul against Jack Vale. No real complaints from the Wales number 11, it must be said.
Didn't see too much wrong with that.
Patton back to Astley. As you can see, Astley just plenty of time in the ball, able to assess his options and turn out. Interested to see the stats as to how many times Dan Barden in the Wales goals had the ball at his feet, Kenny, because time and time again they go all the way back to him. That's where it starts, and as you can see, just building from the back.
And it shows you the benefit of having a keeper that's comfy with both feet.
Crunching tackle from McEwen, nothing wrong with that one though. Out it goes for a throw in. Fair play to Dan Griffiths, just picks himself up and gets on with it.
Griffiths really does put in the miles.
Patton just nudges it with the outside of the boot. Out it comes to the skipper Ellery. Just tries to play it down the line, but again it's ambitious. Griffiths is always happy to chase it, but and I suppose his pressure pays off to an extent. Wins a throw in down in the corner.
Yep, shows the benefit of chasing the odd lost cause. Inches his team up the pitch.
Morgan Boyce with the throw in, and he finds Griffiths all too easily, but poor control.
His touch just let him down on that occasion. It's not something we can often level at him.
Skipper Ellery just urging the players to come back in, get their defensive shape, as Finlayson has the throw in for Northern Ireland. McAneff, one touch and back, header down. Boyce has got the presence of mind to step over the ball and then turn back the way. He's so comfortable on the ball, many of these young boys. We are ticking towards the end of this first half. There's still plenty of action still to come. Fascinating to see what the second half here holds. And then, of course, Scotland, the hosts, up against Republic of Ireland a little bit later on, by which time we'll find out who is going to be crowned champions of the 2016 Victory Shield. We know it won't be either of these teams. That doesn't mean they're not giving it their all here in the penultimate match. Certainly Wales in control at the moment.
I think after the first round of games we had that gut feeling that ultimately it would come down to the Republic of Ireland and Scotland. But certainly we've seen enough flashes from both Wales and Northern Ireland to suggest a few of these boys have a good chance.
Yeah, and Scotland slipping up with that draw against Wales on Tuesday, but I suppose the job doesn't really change. They know if they win the game, then they win the competition, and if they don't, then they won't.
That's right.
Oh, and almost a bit of a defensive mix-up there. Ellery just nicking the ball, but in the end just does go out for a corner kick.
Mr. Cool Ellery, a relieved man.
Second ball just falling to Northern Ireland jersey, as you can see. Lee O'Brien trying to make something happen, and Ellery just forced to prod the ball away for a corner kick.
It's not often you see Barden scramble, but it was that time.
Here it comes then, in swing up. And again, it's another good set piece delivery. Barden's there, so too Boyce. McEwen's up, ball bouncing around. Ellery trying to claim it. Down it comes. McEwen's going to fire it left footed, well wide in the end, but promising signs from Northern Ireland, still not giving up, still trying to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, and I think Daniel Finlayson's attitude today has been great. He's bombed up and down from right back, always wants to be involved.
And there goes the half-time whistle. 40 minutes on the clock. It is Northern Ireland 0, Wales 2. An own goal from Sam McClelland from a Jack Bale cross, and then a goal from Nico Williams after a defensive error. Means it is the Welsh who have their noses in front at the break. Kenny Miller from the Scottish Sun alongside me, Gordon Duncan. Kenny, a fair scoreline so far, it must be said.
It is. We saw some early pockets of potential from Northern Ireland, but Wales gradually influenced the game more and more. That man Jack Vale, we've mentioned him a few times, became more prominent. I think we can have a look at the two goals.
Absolutely, plenty to talk about in the opening few minutes. There was only 4 minutes on the clock when Northern Ireland got their noses in front. Good footwork from Jack Vale, he's the architect, in it comes. And you can see Sam McClelland, he's just dangling out the boot, trying to cut it out, and in the end he catches out Tiernan Parker at the near post. But perhaps credit then to Jack Vale. Kenny, it's a lovely first touch, and he's the man that puts it into the area.
Well, Jack Vale asked the question, and that's all you can do. And maybe a bit similar to the second goal, maybe you can ask questions of the communication at the back.
Yeah, and here is the second goal, and it must be said, the Northern Ireland captain Jordan McAneff will not want to see this again. You can see, just clear your lines, but in the end he dilly-dallies, and Nico Williams nips in, pokes the ball. You can see how gutted McAneff is. He's got his head in his hands, and I don't think he'll be queuing up to watch this again, Kenny.
I think you're right though, initially when you pointed out maybe a lack of communication with the keeper, because you could see McAneff look up a couple of times just expecting Parker to be right behind him, and he wasn't, and the gap was exploited.
So there are the main talking points from the game so far, the two goals that have Wales in front, and it'll be interesting to see if they can build on that lead in the second half, or if Northern Ireland can get themselves back into it. Certainly has been a fairly physical game, as we expected. Some robust challenges flying in, we like to see that. And you can see Jack Vale there, just getting crunched, but nothing wrong with that one, says the referee. And again, we'll see Ellery racing forward here. Like to see that good old-fashioned 50-50. I didn't
even
fancy
flinch.
George Curran's chances. Daniel Finlayson as well, just showing Dan Griffiths that he's no nonsense at the back.
It's been played in a good spirit, the game. For all it's been combative and the two teams have been physical on occasion, there's not really been any back chat. There's not really been any niggling in the entire tournament, it has to be said. No real flashpoints.
I know the Northern Ireland coach, Darren Murphy's not entirely impressed with the refereeing performance so far, but
For his own team, judging by what was picked up with him. Mike.
yeah, I don't think he's too impressed with a lot of what he's seen out there this afternoon. Here's Griffiths again, this time McEwen with the sliding tackle. So certainly a great deal of commitment from both sides, but in terms of clinical in front of goal, or certainly it's the Welsh who've managed to cause most of the trouble in that area, Kenny.
Yeah, we have, and we do keep talking about it, but it's for a reason. Jack Vale has been so impressive, breaking forward, middle to front. He, as composed as he is, as calm as he is in possession, he's also not scared to burst forward, show that change of pace, and he's got a football brain that underpins it all.
And the great thing about our coverage is we can get your thoughts as well. Hashtag Victory Shield. If you want to get in touch on Twitter, let us know what you think. And as you can imagine, it's the Welsh fans who are clearly the happiest so far. Barrytown United have used the hashtag Victory Shield. Great start for Wales, leading Northern Ireland 2-0. Rowan Kaler, hopefully I've pronounced that right, he's happy as well. 2-0, love that. We need Cavan Williams to play. I think Cavan Williams' friends are all just on Twitter and getting in touch, Kenny, because he's got a bit of a fan club out there. I'm sure he's a great player, but I think it's his friends that are trying to give us a hard time.
Yeah, we've seen wee bits and pieces for him. He's another with a real turn of pace, but yeah, there's a couple of those Welsh boys have certainly assembled the masses and their fan bases as well in advance. It's almost like they think we can be influenced.
And I have to admire the optimism from the FAW Trust. They're crediting that opening goal to Jack Vale. I think we might have to be a little bit more harsh and put it down as a Sam McClelland own goal.
I think Sam McClelland might try and credit it to Jack Vale as well.
I'll bet he will. But yeah, remember hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter if you want to get in touch and let us know what you think of what's going on. And of course, a massive game to come a little bit later on this afternoon as well. The host Scotland, they were disappointed to be pegged back and draw 2-2 against Wales on Tuesday, and now their task is simple: beat Republic of Ireland and you win the 2016 Victory Shield. But Kenny, having seen the Republic of Ireland, that is not going to be easy.
It's going to be a real clash of styles. The Scotland team maybe smaller in build, very, very technical, happy to play through the centre of the park and look for a through ball. And that Republic of Ireland team, I mean, for all their two sitting central midfielders are comfortable on the ball and they dictate the tempo. They're really eye-catching out wide, real pace, and through the middle, raw power. So it's going to be a real clash of styles. Be interesting to see who comes out on top.
In terms of being a fly in the wall in the dressing rooms at half-time then, Kenny, Northern Ireland have got 40 minutes to try and really rescue any sort of credibility from this tournament. They want to go out with their heads held high. They've lost, already in this tournament. They're losing here this afternoon. And is that going to be the main message, just to try and go out there and show that they can at least try and save face, if not get themselves back into this one?
It's one of the more predictable shouts every Sunday from my amateur football manager, is that it's still 0-0 at half time, even inevitably when we're 5 or 6 goals down. I think the big thing for Northern Ireland is just to tell them, work the goalkeeper however you do it, whether it's crosses from out wide, whether they're driven in, hung in the air, or whether it's shots from distance. Just work the goalkeeper, because it's the one thing they've not really managed to do too well over the course of the Victory Shield so far.
Yeah, remember Northern Ireland lost out 2-0 to Scotland on Sunday. They lost out by 2-1 against the Republic of Ireland on Tuesday. Kenny, like we say, everyone wants to win, but it's not the be-all and end-all. You're looking for encouraging signs, players that can benefit from this experience. So it's still a big 40 minutes for Northern Ireland, whichever way you look at it.
It is in Northern Ireland, as we know from senior level. Michael O'Neill talks about it often enough. They're working with a small talent pool, just in terms of numbers, not necessarily ability. So there will be a lot of onus and expectation on these boys to continue to progress through the age levels. And we've all seen Wales have almost set the standard of the home nations in recent years in terms of maximising the ability from the younger members of the team. Maybe in years to come there'll be less talk of Bale and more talk about Vale.
And of course the chance for Wales to actually pip Scotland into second, so they know what they need to do: go out and win the game, it puts the pressure on Scotland, and then it'll really come down to a goal difference, because the sides will be level head to head. Scotland have already won a game and drawn a game, and if Wales win this one, then they'll have won a game and drawn a game as well.
Yeah, there's added incentive for them there. They must be cursing their early non-performance against the Republic of Ireland. It's really been an uphill battle in the competition since then for them.
But certainly in the last 80 minutes, not that I mean, I don't mean a whole game by that, but I mean the second half against Scotland and the opening half against Northern Ireland, if you could put that together as a full match performance, then Wales would be delighted. But it's just been a bit disjointed from them in terms of trying to get full performances together and try and get any momentum going through the competition.
I think they've got it right in most areas of the park, but as we said, we still don't know how good Griffiths is facing goal. They've not created many chances. There's been a lot of nice interplay in the midfield, and obviously it was an unbelievable goal from Patton in the last game. But just in front of goal, we've not seen them create much, and as a result, we've not seen the strikers convert much.
And what we have noticed as well, Kenny, looking at all four squads, is, albeit varying levels, they've still got strength and depth there, options that can come on. We've already had shouts on Twitter on the hashtag Victory Shield to get Cavan Williams on. We know that he has been impressive, so he's an option coming off the bench as well. Isaac Davis, the man who got the first goal back for Wales against Scotland on Tuesday, an option for him to come on as well. So both sides, as we've seen, a real feature of this competition is they will make changes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the standard of play is going to drop.
No, you're right, and I think the only man to have more mentions on Twitter just now than Donald Trump is Jamie Taylor of Wales, who has,
again, I think there's just a fan club out there. I'm a bit suspicious of that.
Committed fan club. in terms of Northern Ireland, Jake Corbett, the roving right back, is one who caught the eye early on, certainly in the first game. So they could introduce him, maybe get a bit more supply from deep. So no, they do have options, and in the last game, in the last half of action, you might as well shuffle the pack and give boys a run out.
Yeah, I think Isaac Davis is going to come on for Wales. I can see the number 18 going over just to go about some final preparations. It looks like we will see him. But Kenny, what about Northern Ireland then? Not only can we talk about personnel changes, but in terms of strategy and tactics and so on, they've got a real problem, don't they? Because Wales are being afforded far too much space to play out from the back, and really it's something that Northern Ireland are going to have to look at stylistically as to how they can combat that.
Yeah, Sam McClelland has to drag them further up the pitch, try and make sure the defending's a bit less backs to the wall, and it's not often I say this because it goes against the grain, but maybe they do have to be a bit more direct. Maybe they do have to launch the ball forward and try and play off second balls, try and get it on top of the defence, and work Barden, because we've seen a lot of Barden with the ball at his feet. We've seen him claim a couple of crosses, but we haven't really seen him under sustained pressure. Yeah, because you've got to actually feel sorry for guys like Christopher Conn for Northern Ireland, by no means playing badly, but just really struggling to get into the game because they've not had a lot of the ball and no real reinforcements when he's trying to press it. Wales are able to pop it past the attackers at the back, and it's a real thankless task then for the Northern Ireland strikers. Yeah, as like Griffiths, we haven't seen Conn in front of goal, and it would be nice to be able to judge him in that aspect of his game by the time this game's done, but he needs better service, he needs to get people around him, so he's got something to work with, and at the moment he doesn't. Northern Ireland just got a couple of their substitutes out warming up at half time. Perhaps we will see changes from both sides at the break. Usually if the rest of the tournament's anything to go by, there'll be so many changes that we'll be struggling to keep up by the end, but then that perhaps says more about us than glad that's your
else.
job, Gordon. All I have to do is pick man of the match. you can keep check of the subs. Got my eyes peeled, team sheet in front of me, trying to keep up with everything that's happening, and I hope you're looking forward to picking man of the match. I know it's been a cause of real stress to you so far this week. It has. Not wanting to upset any parents out there, anyone who may be listening. Problem is that Republic of Ireland team, they tend to have 5 or 6 standout performances, so I'll leave that till later on. At the moment, certainly a few in contention. Jack Vale, the obvious shout. Galbraith's had his moments for Northern Ireland. McInnes had his moments. The two of them maybe haven't managed to piece it together for an entire half. I just wonder if Northern Ireland can be a bit more gung-ho, so to speak, in the sense that not only pressing forward, but even just from a mentality perspective as well. They've got 40 minutes left of the competition. They've not had a great deal to shout about. Is it worth throwing caution to the wind
you know, if you lose by 3 or 4, fine, but you never know, you might manage to get a goal back and really try and make a match of this.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no pressure, there's nothing at stake now. Just on a very, very basic level, just go out and enjoy it. Don't leave anything on the pitch. It's a long enough trip back. You might as well not do it with any regrets.
And as for these boys as well, we know that this is a tournament that perhaps has a bit more spotlight on it than the rest of the youth football that they'll play, so even just from a personal pride perspective as well, we know that many of them are doing well individually and at club level, but they'll want to try and catch the eye. You can't always be part of a winning team, but that doesn't mean that some of these Northern Ireland players won't impress the coaches and scouts, many of whom are inside here this afternoon.
I think that side of it's important as well. The exposure is another test, another stage of their development. Spoke to the Scotland coach Brian McLaughlin about this. There's a couple of the Scotland players in particular, Karamoko Dembele and Billy Gilmore, have had a great deal of scrutiny and media attention. They've excited the supporters, and maybe at times that's not what coaches want at this age, when you have to be delicate with them, but at the same time, if you're going to do well, the attention follows, and it's something you've got to handle. So it's the same for all the teams.
Well, it looks like we can see one substitution certainly already, because the Welsh number 9, the man who's always in the thick of it, Daniel Griffiths, is limping towards us. He's got his tracksuit top on, and that might explain why Isaac Davis was warming up so rigorously. So I certainly think that's going to be one change. Dan Griffiths, Kenny, he's had a good tournament. He's clearly put a lot of effort in, and the management will have no hesitation in throwing Davis on after his goal-scoring exploits on Tuesday.
No, Griffiths has obviously run his race. It's again like Con for Northern Ireland. It's hard to remember him having a shot at goal or a meaningful attempt, but quite simply he's not really had the opportunity. He spent most of the time with his back to goal. He's brought others into play, he's worked the channels, he's dragged defenders all over the place. So no, he's probably entitled to put his feet up now and enjoy the second half at Oriam with the rest of us. Yeah,
we've spoken a lot about how Northern Ireland are going to approach this second half. What about Wales? Are they going to be a case of job done? Are they going to be happy, or is it a chance to really go and win this game convincingly and send out a bit of a message that, you know, they're still here despite the fact that they started the tournament so poorly?
I think that's what probably eats away at them, because when you have the title, and they've done it 2 years in a row, you want to defend it. But for that bad start against the Republic of Ireland, maybe they would have been in contention to do just that. So for them, it's about being professional, sticking to what they've been doing well, not to give an inch to Northern Ireland, not give them any encouragement.
Here come the Welsh team back onto the field here at Oriam. In case you're watching the coverage wondering exactly where we are, let's just reiterate, we're at Oriam, which is Scotland's brand new performance centre. It's on the outskirts of Edinburgh. Heriot Watt University really is a wonderful facility, so you really should check it out if you ever get the chance.
Only words of advice: bring layers. It's not the warmest part of the world at the best of times.
Do not be fooled. Do not think because we are indoor we're sitting in tropical temperatures here. It is absolutely freezing. But these boys won't be feeling it. They've put in a good shift. There's Michael Ellery, the Wales captain, looking as relaxed as ever. Always very assured at the back. As we take another look at the main moments from the first half. See the opening goal, really bad start this for Northern Ireland. Vale's cross comes in, McClellan sticks out a toe. And as you can see, we ever like to see own goals like that one, but nothing you can do. McClellan, he's picked himself up well, he's got on with it, but it really got them off to a terrible start. And in truth, Kenny never really recovered from that.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell from here, but you wonder if Tiernan Parker's been expressive enough at the back, if he's commanded his defenders, if he's told them what to do.
The second one, we don't like to be too critical, but it is fairly disastrous. McAneff just, whether he's waiting for his goalkeeper to come out or not, only those two will know, but Williams pounces on it, and I guess credit to the Wales man, because he's on his toes and he's really made them pay.
Yeah, he was quick to exploit that.
And you can see him already, he's already pressing. You'll see him come into the shot in a minute. Look at him, look at that determination. Just shrugs him off, and in the end it's the simplest of finishes.
You can see McAneff sums it up, his head in his hands. Can't quite believe it.
Here come Northern Ireland back onto the field as well. The man Lee O'Brien, rub of the hands, he's clearly feeling the cold as well. Going to see some substitutions from Wales then. Going to be a change in goal. Dan Baldwin's coming off. Going to be replaced in the 6 by Luke Burton. And that change we told you about from Wales. Number 9, Dan Griffiths, coming off. And he's going to be replaced by number 18, who is Isaac Davis. So, a couple of changes for the Welsh. And we're going to see a raft of changes from Northern Ireland as well. This is where it becomes fun. We try and keep up with all of these.
Good luck, Gordon. I'll just put my feet up.
Certainly. 5 substitutions up and coming for Northern Ireland, so you better all be paying attention. Or I better be paying attention, should I say.
Talk us through them, Gordon. Take it away.
All in good time. First man on is certainly going to be Ben Wilson, the number 11. We'll see him entering the field. And I think the 4th official's trying to get his head round the number of changes as well. He's just been giving the correct information. So as you can see, they're forming a bit of a conga line down there at the side of the field. Ben Wilson's the first man on, that's for sure. Jake Corbett's coming on as well. We said we've been impressed by him. So Sam McClelland, the man who scored the own goal, coming off. Jack Scott entering the field as well. Daniel Finlayson, he's been impressive at the back, but he's off as well. He's the man being replaced by Corbett, so Corbett will go out to that right back slot. It really is going to be full of changes at the back because Conlon is coming off as well. Jack Conlon, another man who's done well, to be replaced by Ethan Warnock. And finally Caelan McLaughlin off and Callum Ferris on. And there's the one we told you about already. Coming off Christopher Conn and coming on Ben Wilson. And remarkably, I think we've got all 5 changes there.
Good team effort there. You can pause for breath. You wonder how much of those changes was down to freshening things up and giving boys a chance, or whether there is a tactical, strategic element to it.
Well, we're back underway anyway here at Oriam. Kenny Miller of the Scottish Sun is alongside me, Gordon Duncan. We want to hear from you though in the second half. Why not have your say? Hashtag Victory Shield is where you can get us on Twitter. More than happy to read out your messages if we're polite and kind and not too abusive.
And not just pleas for Cavan Williams and Taylor to get a game.
Yeah, they've got an incredible fan base, those two boys. So, a number of changes then for Northern Ireland at the break, 2 for Wales as well. Let's see what impact that has. And Kenny, when you're talking about momentum, how important is it that Northern Ireland start this game in the front foot, start the second half on the front foot and show that they're not going to take this line down?
That was the theme of the half-time discussion. Just go for it. Absolutely nothing to lose. You don't want to go back with regrets and thinking you've more left in the tank.
Here's McAneff then, trying to get the ball into the box. It doesn't even reach the penalty area though, and it is cleared. Davis is going to get to it. Ellery cuts that one out. Jack Scott, though, able just to play it out to Corbett on the right side. There's another fullback who likes to get forward. Still has to find his range with the deliveries though, just on at the break. It's fired high into the air. We know that Ellery's strong, but well held up in the end by Ben Wilson. Wales just about managing to clear the lines, but going to be picked up again.
McClelland as well, just to step out from the back.
And I think there must have been a mistake from the 4th official because he definitely held up number 6, Sam McClelland's number, but McClelland is still in the field as that shot comes in.
Is that a workman blaming his tools there, Go?
Absolutely not. I will stand by it. Number 6 was held up, but McClelland is still on.
I suppose when you're Sam McClelland's height and build,
can't miss him.
Can't miss him. But maybe you don't want to be the man that tells him he has to come off.
There is Luke Burton in goal for Wales, the man on at the break. See if he can keep a clean sheet in the second half, just as Dan Barden did in the first. And you can see, Kenny, despite the changes, it's still a case of Galbraith and McAneff in that midfield for Northern Ireland, because they know that those two are important performers no matter what's happening.
Yeah, I think you're right. It does say a lot when a team makes as many changes, but they don't touch, probably undoubtedly, the 2 best players.
And there is Galbraith, sliding challenge from him. Must say, it looks like a sore one. Cameron Evans is still down, but referee says fair tackle. See that one again. And you can just see Galbraith, he flies in, really is a crunching tackle. He certainly does win the ball, albeit took a fair chunk of the man as well. Northern Ireland management urging the goalkeeper to go long there, but I think he missed his opportunity.
Yeah, coaching staff asking, pointing out that it was 2 against 2. We want him to be a bit more direct.
Nice turn from Callum Ferris, gives it back into Corbett. Just trying to give Wilson something to chase, and already you can hear the message from the dugout: squeeze it up, something that was definitely missing from the Northern Ireland play in the first half. And you can see Ben Wilson up there, the number 11, just trying to, and it's having its desired effect, Kenny, because Wales are going to have to go long despite building from the back so often in that opening period.
And Callum Ferris is up with him.
And there is Ferris and Wilson just trying to make something happen. Gibbings has it, back it goes, up the line, and Williams has got a bit of a foot race on here with McClellan. McClellan just trying to hold him off, does ever so well, goes back to the goalkeeper. Well played. Galbraith as well, lovely chest control, just pops it up. Allows it to drop down at his feet and try and play the ball back to his defence. Galbraith just trying to dink one over the top, but Ellery is equal to it. Got a chance though for Lee O'Brien to pick up the second ball. Just knocks it out to Warnock on this near side. Warnock looking deep, Ellery misses it, but Boyce isn't going to.
I think in general that's what we wanted to see more of from Northern Ireland. Pushing up the pitch, getting the full-backs into play, at least getting numbers towards the box.
That's a lovely ball down the line, a real attacking chance this for Northern Ireland. Back it comes, Wilson with the volley, terrific finish. Fantastic finish from Ben Wilson, just on at the break, and he's thrown his team a lifeline. Northern Ireland pull a goal back. It is still Northern Ireland 1, Wales 2, but it must be said, what a terrific finish that was. Great movement and a fine finish as well.
And that is exactly what we were asking for. We wanted to see. You can watch it back now. It's great delivery and a really difficult one to hit and keep down. He's kept his eye on the ball. And a great strike.
And it's great movement as well, isn't it? Because he's just held back, he's not rushing in, he's waiting for the ball to be cut back to him. Swings the right boot at it and sees it nestle in the bottom corner. Really wonderful finish that from Ben Wilson. And all of a sudden, Kenny, 5 minutes into the second half, we've got a bit of a game in our hands.
That's what you want for Northern Ireland, because they haven't had that much to shout about throughout the tournament. Gives them a lifeline for the game and something to cling on to. Asks question of Wales again.
I'm sure many of you on Twitter will be impressed with that one. Use the hashtag Victory Shield if you want to let us know what you think of that goal. Wonderful volley from Ben Wilson, just on at the break, Kenny, as well, and what a way to make an impression. You can imagine the conversation in the dressing room: right, son, on you go and try and get us a goal.
No pressure. Don't think they'd have told him go on and score a screamer. I don't think they'd have been that specific, but certainly that's what he's delivered.
It really was a tidy finish, worth a watch again if you can. Remember, we're streaming all the games live and for catch up at youtube.com/Scotland National Team. So, and this is what we like to hear as well. Dylan Boyd's on Twitter, hashtag Victory Shield. He says George Curran's friends all sitting at lunch in Royal School, Dungannon supporting him and the boys. So there we are, George Curran fan club out in full force. Good to have the boys all listening. And in the end, has to be a smart save that from Tiernan Parker, because Jack Vale fired one in. And I think we're going to have another look at that goal, because it was a great cross as well. We must give credit to Jack Scott. And Kenny does everything well. The coaching manual, he's got the knee over the ball, just trying to keep the ball down, because how often do you see those fly way over the crossbar?
Yep, and especially we've already seen players.
Cross comes in from Williams.
See, we've already seen players lose their footing today on a slick surface. So everything about that goal was terrific. Balance, poise, coordination.
Tiernan Parker in goal there for Northern Ireland. Just been told to relax by Darren Murphy, the manager. They don't want to rush things now that they've given themselves a chance of getting into this game. And Wilson's in again here. Ellery's coming across to try and close it down. No real options. Wilson just slips it in. And it must be said, Kenny, he did a lot right there, but unfortunately Jack Scott just hadn't arrived in time.
It's a ball across goal that was begging to be hit, and what a difference Wilson's made.
Sam McClellan crunches into that one, but Gibbings is breaking through here, and they've got a counter-attack. Just too heavy for Davis. Kenny, it must be said, early into the second half, but Northern Ireland already look like a completely different team.
They do, and Wilson's had a lot to do with it. He's constantly on his toes, looking to work the defence. It's not just about one man, but one man can encourage others round him.
Wilson just getting the ball stuck under his feet on that occasion. Nico Williams making his way into the opposition half. Davis is in here. I think the offside flag is up. You can see Sam Cleland appealing for it.
Nico Williams was unlucky. It was a clever pass with the outside of his right foot.
Isaac Davis doesn't look as if he agrees, but not complaining too much. Just getting himself back involved. There's McInnes dropping deep to get involved. Gets it back. McInnes goes right-footed down the line again. A real feature of the second half is Wilson. Takes it to the byline, swings it back, just too high, and in the end, hacked clear by Wales. But Northern Ireland really with the bit between their teeth at the moment.
I think we're only eight minutes into the second half, and already we've seen Wales under more pressure than they were in the entire first half.
Yeah, Ben Wilson really has been at the heart of everything so far in the second half. You can see the cross just too high for Ferris. But Northern Ireland trying to keep the pressure on. A rare loose pass from Galbraith allows Vale to run forward. Look at that, there's a thumping tackle out from Sam McClelland. Safe to say, Kenny, I think Nico Williams felt that. He's back to his feet now though.
And again, you could hear the collision, you could hear the thump as he crashed back down to earth. Sam McClelland.
There is the number 6 for Northern Ireland, no stranger to a hefty challenge.
Well timed though, easy to get those ones wrong.
Credit to him, Kenny, because he really has bounced back quite well after putting the ball into his own net just a few minutes into this game.
He has. I'm not in the business of trying to sell young players to other clubs, but certainly he's one that would be on a list of those that's impressed.
We'll see that tackle again. Look at that, leaves absolutely nothing out there. Long it comes though. Going to be into the middle of the field for Posey to pick up. Across it comes to Williams. Really has had a good game. Nico Williams got himself in the score sheet as well. Cameron Evans, he goes down. Referee says play the advantage. Patton out to Gibbings. Has to just drag it back though. Williams is there, providing some reinforcements. Patton now just spreading the play out to the left. Good period of possession this from Wales. Patton turning Galbraith well, he's going to shoot for goal. And in the end draws a good save from Tiernan Parker out for a corner. And I think Lee O'Brien's going to be brought over for a word from the referee, but Kenny in there, not a bad effort whatsoever, and it had Tiernan Parker scrambling.
Yep, Parker couldn't take any chances, got down well to his right.
So 10 minutes into this second half then, Northern Ireland really have got themselves back into things thanks to that goal from Ben Wilson. Wales looking just to try and get that 2-goal advantage back though. Nico Williams with the corner, in swinger, another wonderful ball, header clear. Galbraith on the second. Galbraith closing down once more, but Gibbings keeps it alive, just tries to chip it into the box. Davis is in there, Parker's come for it, punches. Referee says that is a free kick. That just allows the pressure to lift from Northern Ireland ever so slightly.
Yep, Parker's been under siege a wee bit in that goal in the last couple of minutes. Seen him punch the ball a couple of times.
He's not one of the bigger goalkeepers, but certainly is big enough that he's comfortable to come and punch those clear. Down the line it goes, Wilson yet again. And Kenny, I think testament to the way that Northern Ireland have changed things is we've mentioned Ben Wilson's name more in the opening 10 minutes than some of the players got in the full of the first half. No disrespect to them, it's just a change in impetus from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, and we're making the point that maybe the strikers in the first half didn't have much to work with, but certainly Wilson's gone out and made chances for himself. He's made some intelligent runs, he's shown for the ball.
Lee O'Brien there. Lee O'Brien not quite able to keep it in at the back post. Was an ambitious pass to say the least. The man with the orange boots scrambling hard, but to no avail. Luke Burton, the man on in goal for Wales, and he'll be disappointed at losing a goal so quickly into his appearance here, although it must be said I'm not sure he could do anything about it. It was a terrific finish from Ben Wilson as that one's hacked into the air by McInnes, flicked on, just waiting to see if the offside flag is up. It doesn't. Ben Wilson couldn't quite get in behind that time. Lewis Connolly's on Twitter. He's used the hashtag Victory Shield. He says he's feeling a 3-2 to Northern Ireland, so he fancies the comeback here. Hashtag Victory Shield if you want to get in touch. He says get Curran back on. Not sure that's going to happen, but good to see there's some more support for some of the boys out there. Hashtag Victory Shield, get in touch. It's a nice touch, nice turn that from Wilson again. Down he goes, one aside, a free kick. You can see him, first touch isn't great, and you can see what he's trying. Just dragging the ball, flicking it with the back heel, and in the end it was Ryan Astley who tripped him up, and that means McIneff's going to try and deliver this one into the box.
Yep, good footwork and imagination there.
So McInneff just assessing his options. Everyone back for Wales. It's a sign of the way that they've been hanging on to an extent in this second half. Here it comes McInneff. It's not a great ball again though, it must be said. A bugbear of football fans at any level of the game, Kenny. You hear it screamed on the terraces every week. You must beat the first man.
Absolutely. You can't give away cheap free kicks either.
McInneff is a player who's shown throughout this tournament that he's got an excellent set piece delivery, so that'll be something he's a little bit frustrated at this afternoon.
Yeah, he's had a couple this afternoon where he's dropped below his normal standards. Still time for him to make it count.
Thought we were going to see the Oriam roof getting hit for the first time there, but not to be. The Welsh backline happy to pick up the pieces there. Michael Ellery, the skipper, comes across, plays it into Burton. He's under a bit of pressure. Yeah, calmness personified though. Really nice composure from the man in the Wales goal. Galbraith. 3 men around him. He's not phased at all though.
That head of his never drops.
Plays it back to Ethan Warnock. Just tries to play it into feet. Gives Wilson something to chase. Sliding challenge.
Wilson's done well just to keep it alive there in the final third.
Callum Ferris, the man in the end, to come across. Just slides the ball out of play. Played his part in this revitalised Northern Ireland side after the break. Up the line then, flicked on by another one of the half-time subs, Isaac Davis. Blonde-haired number 18. Trying just to play it down the line, but in the end fired straight out of play. And perhaps this is credit to Northern Ireland, but Wales really not managing to build from the back the way they did so successfully in the first half.
Nope, and we wanted to see questions asked of that Welsh back line, and they've not quite been as resolute.
It really has been a good game to watch so far, and Ben Francis agrees. He's been on Twitter, hashtag Victory Shield. He's also fancying a 3-2 to Northern Ireland. Great game to watch, he says. I agree, 3-2 Northern Ireland. So, well, Ben, I'm sure you will watch with interest to see how this one unfolds. Burton thinks about playing it short, but again, he's going to have to go long. Much better pressing from Northern Ireland. There's a bit of a race on here. A chance for Givings to get in. Warnock does well. Safety first, taking no chances after some fairly slack defending from the Northern Irish in the first half. Sam McClellan just trying to organise. Williams has it, dispossessed by Galbraith. Galbraith happy just to chase the ball and volley it clear. That is going to be a foul against Sam Bowen. Josh Hosey, forgive me.
Hey! Jack Scott, get on! Squeeze! Up in! Get on, Lee!
Ellery's got a bit of defending to do though. Nice composure though out to Ryan Astley. Astley the one who goes more direct, and that is a lovely flick, just finds Williams. Isaac Davis has got a chance here, he's 1-on-1. McEwen's got the better of him though. Davis has won it back. Gets to the byline and wins himself a corner. Great tenacity that from Isaac Davis. You think that when Griffiths goes off, Kenny, that they're going to lose a bit of that firepower, but Davis is exactly the same, snapping at defenders' heels, not giving them a minute to rest.
No, he's cut from the same cloth. I thought McEwen had done enough there just to run the ball out of play, but instead he's turned it into a corner.
That's one of our headers.
Some of the Wales attackers just lining up on the edge of the 18-yard box,
Step off a yard there.
planning their run into the box.
Outswing it.
It's going to be an outswinger from Nico Williams, but the referee just having a word, making sure there's not too much pushing and shoving going on inside the penalty box. Ellery's in there as well. Here it comes from Williams, right-footed outswinger. Again, it doesn't beat the front man. This time it is McInneff. Galbraith beaten to it.
Press!
Back to Vale, lovely footwork from him. He's got it onto that left foot, thinks about hitting it, wants to come back onto a stronger right foot, deflected over the bar. And Kenny, it must be said, he really had worked himself a good space there. If he had taken it on in the left foot, there was a real good opening.
Yeah, he just delayed it too long. Great touch inside. And he's begging to be hit with his left foot, maybe just too reliant on his right. Didn't quite trust his left.
On your header!
The chance was gone.
So more defending to do for Northern Ireland. Let's see if Nico Williams can beat the front post man this time.
Go on, Ben. Good lad, Ben Wilson.
Just a little bit of a delay, but comes with the right boot in the end. Out it goes. It's a lovely ball this time. Headed up into the air, and Ellery's there. The big skipper gets his left foot onto the ball, manages to squeeze it underneath Tiernan Parker, and Wales have their 2-goal lead back as we tick towards that hour mark.
That's the kind of physicality that he offers. Northern Ireland will be so frustrated. They've managed to claw their way back into contention. Shot themselves in the foot again.
You see a real dangerous delivery this time from Williams, right into the danger area. Gives the defence something to think about. It doesn't get properly cleared, and Ellery sneaks round the back and puts the ball into the back of the net.
Substitution for Northern Ireland.
We've talked about Ellery's physicality and his aggression, his will to win, but that's the other side of his game. He's alert. Cool to take the chance.
Substitution for Northern Ireland in the aftermath of that goal. Off goes Lee O'Brien, uncomes Connor Farrelly. Kenny, I think the key word you mentioned there for Northern Ireland, frustration. They've been so much better in the second half. They score a great goal and get themselves back in it. They're actually then on the front foot, but all of a sudden up the other end and concede the goal.
There's that word frustration again. Story of their tournament. I think there's a case of mistaken identity on Twitter just now.
Yeah, I think so. Someone says Kenny Miller is a pure hero. It cannot possibly be you, no offence. None taken, I'm sure.
Do you know any other Kenny Millers?
I think you have a slightly more famous namesake, yep. Spelt differently, you'll be reminding us.
I've got to be our first touch.
There goes Williams. He really has had so much of the ball this afternoon, the Wales number 10. Perhaps delayed that one a bit too long, but it does eventually find Gibbings on the right hand side. Tries to backheel it, doesn't quite come off for him. Yet another change as well, another couple of changes for Wales this time. Try and get a look at those substitutes for you. So coming off then, number 4 Keenan Patton, the man who scored a screamer on Tuesday. No goal scoring action today, but has been involved. And he's going to be replaced by Terry Taylor, the man who usually has the captain's armband. Is a Scotsman, of course, but playing for Wales.
Double substitution for Wales.
Number 22, Bradley Gibbings, coming off as well.
Bradley Gibbings have been replaced.
He's going to be replaced by number 7, who's Stefan Buckley.
Terry Taylor.
So, clearly then, Kenny, Wales feel they've got their noses in front. 2 goals to the good again, and time for some fresh legs.
Yep, a chance for Terry Taylor to show us what he's all about.
There he is, the Wales number 8, goes to school in Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's been an interesting topic of discussion this week. Scottish FA Performance School pupil appearing for Wales. SFA happy to honour his education.
Nice triangle there from Wales, just trying to work their way towards the box. It's well cut out in the end though by Warnock. Warnock again, just trying to play it down the line. Ellery was the man who put Wales in front. 2 goals in front a few moments ago, but he was doing some defending on that occasion. Here he is again, the Wales captain. He's been an impressive performer during this competition, it must be said. Sam McClelland wins the header but ends up coming back off Galbraith. That allows Taylor to try and thread the pass. And well done, Tiernan Parker, alert to the danger. Long it goes. Taylor getting after it, but Corbett does well.
Good feet from Corbett.
Just cuts back inside. Barney McKeown's got a bit of chasing to do. He's going to get there though. Into the feet of Galbraith. Williams snapping at his heels. McClelland striding forward. Those big strides of his, a real weapon when he can get going, but in the end the pass is not quite as good as he would have hoped, and Vale able to turn and drive forward. Here comes Taylor, just flicks the ball out to Williams, and again one more then. Substitutes combining down the right side. Taylor shows some decent footwork. Northern Ireland do manage to clear their lines though. You know, talk about momentum shifts in football, Kenny. That third goal for Wales, it really looks like it's killed the game off, whereas a few moments before Northern Ireland were right at it.
Yeah, I think it's sucked the life out of Northern Ireland a wee bit. They'd been so much better after the break. Ben Wilson making a real impact. And again, from their point of view, just an avoidable goal. It was a corner they didn't have to concede.
Well, they do have a chance to try and make something happen here, the men in green. A corner over on the far side. Clearly no hurry to take it though, it must be said. Captain slowly but surely making his way across. Number 10, Jordan McInnes.
Let's hope for better from him this time round. He's disappointed with a couple.
Here he goes, another outswinger. And does manage to make its way through though. Hack towards goal, and that is going to be fired into the back of the net by Conor Farrelly. What a game we've got in our hands here. Moments ago, Wales go 3-1 up, but Farrelly's there. He's just come on as a substitute, side foots it into the back of the net, and all of a sudden, it's Northern Ireland 2, Wales 3.
Yeah, and another tidy finish from Farrelly. When he could easily have lashed that ball in haste or in panic or sent it spinning anywhere, but it's controlled. It's an awkward height for him, just able to guide it back over his shoulder.
And you can see Terry Taylor was in there as well. I wonder if the keeper's view was just a little bit obstructed, Kenny. He was a bit late to react, but I think because there was defenders in front of him.
Yeah, he looks, I think you've called that spot on. He was slightly flat-footed, but a fair bit of congestion in front of him.
And again, fair play to these Northern Ireland players, Kenny, because when you're brought on as a substitute, the only thing you can really ask for is to make an impact. And you look at the goal scorers, Ben Wilson on at the break, scores straight away. Conor Farrelly just on, he scored straight away as well.
And he has. They've shuffled the pack. It might work for them yet. What a game we've got.
Yeah, Paul McAdory's on as well for Northern Ireland. Number 17 in the middle of the wall. But now surely Northern Ireland can't make the same mistake again. The last time they got back into the game, they conceded too early. Certainly a time for some defensive concentration to make sure they don't let that deficit go back to 2 goals. Nico Williams over it, just floats it into a good area, well headed, clear, down it comes. Falls back. Northern Ireland trying to put pressure on the ball, but Wales doing well. McAdory wins it. Down goes Ferris, wins the free kick. Ryan Deegan's clearly watching. He says hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter. What a game this is, and you're not wrong, Ryan. A 5-goal thriller so far, and I wonder if there's plenty more to come. Niall Davis as well. Hope Wales can hold Northern Ireland off. I feel they have just enough to see the game out. Also a very good volley. And Ryan Deegan's also asking, who do you think is player of the tournament so far? Well, I think we'll get to that a bit later on. Plenty of more action to come in this game, and of course another big game between Scotland and the Republic of Ireland later on. Sam McClelland yet again, crunching tackle from him. Stephen Buckley just on. Kenny McClelland absolutely loves these challenges, doesn't he?
He doesn't hold back, but he's always fair. I mean, there's no studs shown. Foot pointing down the way. No, good question, Randy. We'll get to that later on. Certainly no shortage of candidates to choose from.
Good footwork that from Nico Williams. Dances away from 2 tackles and a nice pass as well. Buckley's trying to shake off the after effects of that tackle and get there. Nice footwork though. Gets away far too easily. Cross though, straight into the hands of Tiernan Parker. And that, Kenny, is so frustrating because the wingers often do the hard bit. Lovely piece of skill, and then it's the final ball that it just goes slightly wrong.
Yeah, we've made the point a few times though, this pitch is so big and expansive and there's so much at stake that maybe it's just a rush of blood to the head. Don't quite have the composure to lift the head and pick out that ideal final ball. 12-13 minutes left for Northern Ireland to somehow turn this round.
Luke Burton happy just to kick the ball from hand, but perhaps not the right option in hindsight. Goes straight out for a Northern Ireland throw. Let's get another look at that chance then. See his great footwork, just leaves Galbraith, skips it out to the right hand side, but doesn't come to anything. McClelland enjoyed a lot of possession in the second half, able to come forward much as Ellery did in the first half for Wales. With 12 minutes to go, Kenny, I wonder if tactically we're going to see Northern Ireland really throwing caution to the wind, because we know they can't really get anything out of this tournament, and a chance to really get an equaliser here if they go for it.
All we asked from them at half time was that they come out, have a go, and at least threaten, and at least they've done that. At least they've worked the Welsh backline, they've worked the keeper. You can't really ask any more of them.
AJ Woods is on Twitter, he agrees, he's using the hashtag Victory Shield. What a game. Hopefully Northern Ireland come out on top, he says, but just 11.5 minutes to go. It is still the Welsh lead by 3-2.
In fairness, we've not had a bad game so far in the whole tournament. There's always been something to talk about or get excited about.
Certainly has, and a bit of space for Callum Ferris to drive forward. Good tracking from Gibbings, but Ferris has done well. Plays it into Farrelly. Out it comes in to Warnock. Back to Farrelly. Just been forced to go back again though, Northern Ireland. They want to try and keep pressing forward. McClelland's pass is a loose one. Throw from Warnock goes down the line, flicked on by a Welsh head, but I think in the end it bounced off a Northern Ireland man and out for another throw.
Good, Sam. Same again.
Sam McClelland certainly wins the vast majority of his aerial battles, it must be said.
And he has recovered well from that early mistake. We've mentioned that a couple of times, but it's easier said than done.
Especially at this stage of their career, it's not like these guys are seasoned pros who've made many mistakes in their career, so that's an important part of their learning process.
Absolutely, you know the games are being screened, there's thousands of people watching, your family and friends are here to support. Easy for him to dwell on the mistakes, but he's shown a great attitude, great professionalism, just to shake it off and get on with his normal game. He's played well.
Corbett plays it down the line to Wilson. Wilson trying to get the better of Ellery, but Ellery stands up well. Has to settle for a corner kick on that far side. And you can see a real difference from Northern Ireland in this second half. Playing the balls into channels, turning the Welsh backline, giving them something to think about. Galbraith with the corner this time. He's also taken over the captain's armband since McIneff's gone off. Galbraith at the second time of asking, doesn't really get a hold of that one properly though.
Poor from Galbraith, he's better than that.
Allows Stefan Buckley to come away. He too is guilty of poor passing though, as that one gets slipped out to the left side. Chris Colhoun on Twitter, he's using the hashtag Victory Shield. Really impressed with the Wales team playing out from the back, very confident on the ball and making the pitch big. So let's hear more of your messages, hashtag Victory Shield.
And that pitch is big enough. We can say that from personal experience of trying to run round it the other day.
Yeah, we had an exclusive look behind the scenes here at Oriam, and let me tell you, fantastic facilities, but that is a massive pitch. Exact same playing dimensions as Hampden Park, I believe, Kenny, so if these guys ever make it to the national teams and are up against Scotland, then they'll know exactly what to expect.
Well, I think they've more chance than us, so certainly a great learning experience for them.
Long throw as well down the line. Corbett's up well. And you can see the performance and office space at the top of your picture over there on the far side of this pitch. It's where the SFA performance staff are based. I'm going to get another couple of changes for Wales. Coming off is Nico Williams, one of the goal scorers. Very impressive today. He's going to be replaced by another Williams. This time it's Cavan. Cavan Williams has got a bit of a Twitter fan club out there, so I'm sure they'll be happy to see him. Also coming on is number 19, Callum Watts. And he's going to be on in place of Jack Vale, another impressive performer. So certainly been a whole host of players who've caught the eye today for Wales, Kenny.
They have, and I think Vale, again, we should probably stop talking about him in case his club get paranoid and think that we're trying to sell him on, but for me he's just been class throughout the tournament. Everything he does with composure and intelligence. The head never drops, good burst of speed.
So 7 minutes or so for the likes of Callum Watts and Cavan Williams to make an impact in this game. Can they put it out of sight for the Welsh? Or are Northern Ireland still to have their say? Here he is, Watts. Good tackle though from Galbraith. Farrelly comes forward. Some of the Northern Ireland players busting a gut to get up and attack here. Down the line it goes.
Asking a lot.
Certainly isn't ambitious, but down goes Paul McAdory. And I have to say credit to him because he looked second best to get there at one stage, but just managed to nip in front, draw the foul. Not sure it was a foul, but the referees think so.
Yeah, like, credit to McAdory, he's earned that break, but no, I'm with you, seems a soft call.
Well, Ethan Galbraith doesn't mind, he's the man over the free kick.
Still going strong.
Yeah, I think he's played almost every minute of every game for Northern Ireland in this competition, has been a real standout. He's now got the captain's armband on as well. Let's see what he can do from the free kick. In it comes, it's deep, but he's managed to find a head. It's going to be a corner on the far side if it goes, indeed it does. Galbraith probably got a jog on to go over and take it. I think he's telling someone else just to take it. He's happy enough to stay back, let this one come in swinging from the left boot of Ethan Warnock. You can see the number 3 just going over there. He's going to take his turn at whipping this one in.
Look at the Welsh bodies, four around McClellan.
Yeah, they know he's the danger, and it comes from Warnock. Up goes, and away, just on the far side. It really was a terrific leap, it must be said, from Jack Scott. He got a good bit of purchase on the header, Kenny. Did a lot well, got it down, but in the end, just the direction it was that let him down.
Not too far away, did well to attack the ball. Just off target.
So Wales just taking this opportunity to reconvene at the back, get their thoughts together, calm down. They don't want to throw this one away. They were 2-1 up, they were 2-0 up, sorry, then 3-1 up. Northern Ireland have pulled it back to 3-2, as you can see, and the keeper spilled it, but he's going to be alert enough to get on his feet. Warnock controls it with the outside of the boot. Galbraith very, very rarely loses possession, but it must be said, good tackling that time from Josh Hosey.
Luke Burton, a lucky boy for Wales though. That's a second previously when he slid outside the box with the ball.
Warnock's throw in. Thought about hitting it on the turn, can't quite get there though. Cleared, only as far as Warnock. Now Davis has it. Just looking to hold it up and try and spring a counter-attack. Terry Taylor plays it over the top. Tiernan Parker forced to come out and clear with the head. Always like to see a goalkeeper who's happy enough to do that. Farrelly does well under pressure but can't find a teammate. We are moving towards the end of this game, but you can still get in touch, still plenty of time. Hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter if you want to have your say. Lindsay McComb says, Jack Scott, great assist, come on Northern Ireland. But Laura Hennessy, she's on the other side of the fence, come on Wales, hold on. Luke McHenry as well. Sam McClelland loves a good old fashioned tackle, smashing defender. I think you are right, Luke.
Certainly been a feature of his play.
Certainly has thrown himself into a few challenges, has the big Northern Ireland number 6. And Kenny, it is that time of the afternoon where I'm going to put you in the spot and ask for your man of the match.
Well, I still think there's been a few contenders again. I really feel guilty that Ethan Galbraith's not had one yet for the selfless work he puts in, but I think in terms of having more mentions than anyone else, it's that man Jack Vale.
Well, Jack Vale, the Wales number 11, he's gone off the field, of course, substituted in the last few minutes, but he's the man who's been named man of the match, thanks to Kenny Miller. Of the Scottish Sun, I would have went for Nico Williams myself, but I'll let you away with that one.
Can I have a do-over? No.
Nope, not a chance. Galbraith just forcing that one into the air, trying to get his team up the field, but it's gone out there for a throw-in.
Apart from Jack Vale, Nico Williams has been very, very good as well.
Have been a few impressive performers in both sides, it must be said. There's Cavan Williams, misses the header. McKeown. And really, last chance saloon for Northern Ireland. Just over 2 minutes of the 80 remaining And if they want to get anything from this game, they're going to have to go for it, going to have to throw bodies forward, but they've got defending to do first. Here's McKeown, and I know where this is going. Long. Farrelly goes down. No foul, says the referee. The Northern Ireland bench furious with that. Buckley goes chasing down the right hand side. And in the end, just slightly overrun by Buckley.
Well, 3 minutes for Northern Ireland to pull us back.
McAdory just getting a bit of a talking to from referee Lloyd Wilson. I must say I do sympathise with the Northern Irish team there. I certainly felt as if there was a foul as Farrelly tried to hold the ball up. Referee having none of it. Here comes McClelland, long it goes. Good jump. Buckley again, just overrunning it.
Wales just have to keep the ball.
Ethan Warnock, the man with the throw-in. Buckley is equal to it. Inside the last minute of the 80, and we're going to have another substitution.
Wales just having to break up play.
Absolutely, I don't think there's any doubt they're doing this to waste a little bit of time.
Substitution for Wales coming off.
Morgan Boyce is the man coming off. Number 3 has put in a terrific shift this afternoon.
By number 2, Jack Davies.
Jack Davis on in his place. Only 30 seconds of the 80 remaining. As you can see, these boys learn the tricks of the trade early on. Morgan Boyce in absolutely no hurry to come off whatsoever. Just trying to run the clock down.
He doesn't look happy coming off.
Northern Ireland head coach Darren Murphy making the point to the referee that he better be adding the time on. Just get the sense this game has slipped away from Northern Ireland now though. Not too many stoppages. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes go up on the board. Plenty of substitutions though. Tiernan Parker thumps it long with the right boot.
Shouldn't be too much additional time.
Wouldn't have thought so.
I've got my heart set in that canteen soup.
And over the top, and maybe a chance for Wales to put this game beyond doubt. They're through in goal. Wonderful save, Tiernan Parker. Callum Watts, the substitute, did a lot right. It was a great save from the Northern Ireland keeper. 3 minutes, I think that one said.
Well done, Tiernan Parker. We've questioned his participation in a couple of the goals, but that was a big save. He stood tall, made himself big. Great reflexes to his left-hand side.
Sliding tackle from McAdory. Buckley gets away from it. Terry Taylor's there as well.
Game's getting nice and tousy. I think boys know there's 3 minutes left for them to leave their mark in more ways than one.
You can see the Scotland team on the far side just watching. They've just arrived. You can just see them through the glass window there. There is Taylor. Back inside. There's Watts again. Using the width of the park well, Wales, but it's cut out. And is there a chance for Northern Ireland to snatch a dramatic point late on here? I fancy Ethan Galbraith to be the man that makes it happen.
Galbraith still going strong.
He's given it off to McAdory. Ferris. Isaac Davis might just cut that out, but
still be very patient in the play. You'd expect them to launch it forward to try and get it in the box.
McKeown gets it back, nice 1-2. Tries to play it down the line, gets there. And it comes into the box. It's that man Wilson, just trying to hold off. He's cut it back. McKeown with the chance, and in the end, well blocked. I thought we were going to get a dramatic equaliser. There's Galbraith, look at that, a wonderful sliding tackle from him.
Ryan Astley with the block.
Tries to play it deep. He's just not going to get there, and Kenny, you just get the sense there is the Scotland team lining up on that far side.
Well, if we're going to get a chance, I think that was it. Brave defending from Ryan Astley.
Yeah, you can see Wilson does ever so well, cuts it back. McKeown, he's all the way up from the back. The volley, great block, because Kenny, that looked as if that could have been nestling in the back of the net for an equaliser.
It's a double block, because I think it was Astley that actually cut out the initial cross as well. So even in the last minute, his concentration is still 100%.
Just 30 seconds or so remaining then. And if we're going to get a goal, it's going to be very, very late. McKeown with the header. Corbett flicks it. Substitute Jack Davis doing well there on the far side, just seeing the ball out, taking the pressure off.
Can't be too much time left now.
I think we are all but done here at Oriam. in the penultimate game of the 2016 Victory Shield, and indeed there goes the full-time whistle. It's Wales who come out on top. A 5-goal thriller here at Oriam. Really was a fantastic game. Northern Ireland 2, Wales 3 it finished, and that means despite some impressive performances, Northern Ireland are going to finish bottom of the pile. They've lost all 3 of their games. Wales move on to 4 points with a win this afternoon and might just sneak second depending on what happens between the Republic of Ireland and Scotland a little bit later on. Kenny, it really was a terrific game. It threatened to be a game of 2 halves, but is that a fair scoreline in the end?
I think it is overall. Wales have shown that there was more to them than that opening crushing disappointment to the Republic of Ireland. We asked big questions in Northern Ireland at half time, and they had the character and intensity about them to at least ask questions of Wales.
Let's take a quick look at the second half goals then. That's where most of the goals came, and it was Northern Ireland who got themselves back in this just moments after the restart. Great play down the right hand side, the cut back, and you can see the half time substitute Ben Wilson. He just peels off, keeps the ball down, and that's a great volley to get his side back into it. 2-1 at that stage then. I suppose it is worth another look. It was such a great finish. Keeps his knee over the ball. The goalkeeper has absolutely no chance. Saw it late as well.
Terrific technique.
But unfortunately for Northern Ireland, they couldn't keep that pressure up. Wales eventually going back 3-1 in front. The captain, Ellery, up from the back. Look at that. Great awareness, great reaction. Manages just to poke the ball beyond Tiernan Parker. Northern Ireland keeper, he saw the ball coming in, but in truth was never really anywhere near getting anything on the finish.
Ellery doing well to follow in.
At that stage you just wondered if Wales were going to see this out, but no, it was Northern Ireland who struck again and threatened to make a real game of this. In came the corner, bouncing around all over the place really. Conor Farrelly, the man with the calmest head in the penalty box, though side-footed volley into the top corner, and that made it 3-2 to Wales. And unfortunately from a Northern Irish perspective, that was the end of the scoring, but some great goals on show, some great performances as well. 5 goals, some hefty tackles, and all in all, it must be said, a thoroughly enjoyable game here at Oriam. The penultimate game of the 2016 Victory Shield has finished. Northern Ireland 2, Wales 3. We will be right back very shortly with the game that could decide who wins this year's Victory Shield. Republic of Ireland against Scotland coming up soon. Join us then.